Hey guys, so today we're going to go over translations. We're going to cover a couple different things. We're going to go over a definition and some important words and things that we need to know before we get started, as well as how to actually do the translations and how they move. We're going to do these, and then we're also going to do a couple practice problems. Now, you'll notice at the bottom of this in my Google Classroom, there is a link to the notes that go with this. This is just like your notes that we normally do in class, only since it is a PDF version, I've actually filled in the blanks for you, and those have been highlighted in red. So make sure you have those. If you do have them right now, make sure you're not jumping ahead and getting the answers before me. I really want you to look at them and work through them with me, okay? So let's get started. First thing I want to cover is the definition. A translation is the sliding of a figure from one place to another without turning, flipping, or changing its side. So, again, it's just sliding around. We can slide it over, up, down, whatever we want to do. But it cannot turn, it cannot flip, and it cannot change its size, okay? Those are all different types of transformations, but again, today we are focusing on just translations, and they do not do those things. All right? So, if you notice here, I have two yellow squares, and they look exactly the same, but the only thing is that one has these funny little things behind it right here, okay? If you notice these little apostrophe looking things on here, those are actually called a prime symbol. And if you think about back to class, there is something that prime symbol tells me. Can you remember what it means? Good. The prime symbol is actually what tells us which one the new is. So that tells me, those prime symbols tell me that this is my new shape. And this one with just the plain letters is my original one, okay? So, I know because of that, I started over here, I went over to the right and down just a little bit to get to my new shape. Okay, so you really have to look for those prime symbols because that's what tells me which one's my original shape and which one's my new shape. Because if you're going to have to explain to me the definitions, I need to know where it started. Because if I actually start over here on this shape, I would say it went up and to the left, which really it's actually backwards. It went to the right and it went down. So be very careful and make sure you know where we're going. The next thing we need to talk about is how translation moves, okay? We know that translations can move left or right, up or down. And that's where axes come into play. Because when we translate shapes, we're translating them on a graph, okay? And so, if they're really nice, they'll say, move the figure left 4 spaces and down 3 spaces. But and I know that they're not normally that nice, okay? So we actually have to be able to interpret the data. So you might see x plus 4 or x minus 4. So if we see an x plus, okay, so we see x plus 3. Okay, let's look at what that means. So let's look at 0. Because remember when we're graphing something, we always start at 0. So we're just going to use that, okay? So my little dude's right here. And we know we're going on the x-axis, okay? So I'm having to go left or right because if I walk along this little line right here, I'm either going to go to the left or I'm going to go to the right. Well, what number am I on right now? I'm on 0, right? So let's do that math. Here's a basic problem. 0 plus 3 is what? 3, okay? So 0 plus 3 is 3, and it's positive 3. So I go over 1, 2, 3. So if I see x plus 3, I have to take my point wherever that is. In this case, we said 0, and I have to go to the right 3 places. So anytime we see the word, or we see x plus, this x plus that we have right here means we are going to the right, okay? Now, that covers us if we're going to the right, but the same thing can go for the exact opposite. What if we have x minus 4, okay? So I go back to 0, we're chilling right here, at 0, and I'm going to go minus 4. So let's go back to our math. 0 minus 4 is negative 4. So if I go from this 0 right here, and I go over to the 4, what direction am I going? I'm going to the left. So this little guy right here, this x plus, or I'm sorry, x minus is what tells me I'm moving to the left. All right. So when we see the x's, we know we're going left or right. When we see x plus, that means we're going to the right. When we see x minus, we're going to the left. Well, we're going to apply the same principle to our y-axis, okay? Sorry, I started right here at 0. Okay, little dude is chilling at 0. Okay, now along the y-axis, I can either go up or down. So if they're really nice, again, they're going to say move up 4 or down 7. Okay, they're going to give us the words up or down. Again, not being nice. So if I have y plus 2, okay, just making up a number, I don't know, y plus 2. If I use the same principle that I did for my x-axis, I take my 0, because that's where I'm starting, and I'm going to say plus 2. Well, 0 plus 2 is what? Just 2. And it has to be positive, because 0 plus 2 is positive 2. So on my y-axis, that is actually, to get to the positive 2, I'm going up 2 places. So when I'm at 0 and I go at y plus 2, that carries me up 2 places. So this y2 that we have right here is what tells me I'm going up. And we know, so if y plus means up, what do we think that y minus means? Well, I'm betting you're guessing down, because that's the only word I haven't used yet. But let's check the math behind it. Okay, so I'm at this 0 right here. And I'm going to say minus 3. So y minus 3. So 0 minus 3 would give me negative 3. So if I follow along my y-axis, I have to get to the negative 3. I have to go down 3 places. So again, when I look at these key words, or I look at these key little points, the y plus and the y minus is what tells me which direction to go. Same way with my x's. I had x plus meant right, x minus means left. Same thing with our y's. Y plus means up and y minus means down. And we just go however many hops it tells us with the number. So x plus 3 would mean we went right 3 units. X minus 4 means we go left 4 units. You still use those numbers, okay? So now let's try a few. Okay. I'm just going to get this out of the way before we even start on this one. Y'all don't hate on my triangle, okay? It was not cooperating, but you know what it is. It's my triangle, okay? So don't hate. Alright, so this one says, translate triangle DEF 5 units to the left and 6 units down. What is the location of triangle D prime, E prime, F prime? So notice I have the primes there, so it wants to know, after I've translated, what are the points for my new triangle. And I know the new one is because of those prime. Alright? So now, one thing we know about translations is if I move one point, I got to move all of them, because I'm actually moving the whole triangle. I'm not just moving point E. I'm not just moving point D. I'm actually moving the whole triangle himself, alright? So, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to count. And because F is just chilling over here to the side, I'm going to move him first. Does it really matter which one I move first? No, that's just the one I'm picking, okay? So, it says 5 units to the left and 6 units down. So, I'm going to go over right here and go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left, and then 6 down. 1, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there's my new spot, and we'll make him green. And since that's my new spot, I'm going to actually call that F prime. Okay, because remember, the prime tells me it's my new F. All right. So the next one I'm going to do, I guess I'm can go with E. I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so that is going to be my new E. Okay. And since it's my new one, I'm putting that prime symbol. Last one. And I'm going to just stick with yellow because I'm there. Alright, I'm going to move my point D. I'm going to go over 5 units to the left and 6 units down. So here we go. 1, ooh, yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And so when I have that, I know that that makes this my new prime D. Alright, so if I did this right, my triangle is going to be the exact same size. So if I get here, I'm going to say that it was 2 across the bottom and it was 2 tall. Let's see. Over, it's 2 across the bottom and it's 2 up. And I can count my dots just to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I lined up again, so I know I did it right. Okay, now that is my actual location. But if you're telling me, Miss, it moved right there, I'm gonna look at you crazy and I'm gonna say, well, can you be a little bit more specific? I'm actually going to want the ordered pairs because let's think about this. Can I grade your drawing from my house? No, not unless I'm going to look at 50,000 pictures, okay? So what you're going to have to do today is you're actually going to have to give me the ordered pair. So when I say what's the new location, I am looking for D prime is at -2, -2. E prime is at -3, -4. And I need that my F prime is at -1, -4. Okay? So, again, I'm not going to be able to look at your problems and say, oh, it's right there. Because I'm not going to look at all those pictures. You're actually going to have to give me the order pairs on the assignment for this. You're going to have 4 questions over translations. Okay, so this is the last example we're going to do, and then I'm going to let you go on your own, and you can actually do those by yourself. Remember, you have the 4 questions, okay? So it says, figure ABCD has the vertices A at -5, 5, B at -2, 5, C is at -2, 3, and D is at -5, 3. So, first thing before I can do, because the next one starts telling me how it's moving. Well, I don't know where figure ABCD is. So before I do anything, even go on to the next part of the question, I'm going to draw that figure, okay? So let's go over -5 and up 5. It's actually going to put my dot right here. And that was A. Alright. Then it says B is at -2, so I'm going to go back 2 and 5. Up 5. So that makes B. Then we have C is at -2, 3. So there's C. And then last one is D, -5, 3. So we're going to go over -5, up 3. And that is D. So I have this nifty little rectangle. And he's a little bit better than my triangle, but not much. Alright. So now I'm going to go down to the second part. It says, if the figure is translated 4 units to the right and 5 units down, what are the coordinates for figure A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime? Notice this one actually says coordinates because, again, I can't grade your picture. You're going to have to turn this into me, alright? So, let's use, I don't know, we're going to use yellow to hop, alright? We got to go 4 units to the right and 4 units down. So, I'm going to start here with C. Okay, so I'm going to go 4 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I have to go down. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here is my new spot right here. And since it's my new one, I'm going to actually label that C prime. Okay. Now let's do the same thing to our B. I'm going to go over 4 to the right and then 4 down. So over 1, 2, ooh, it's not drawing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and down. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there is my new B right there. Okay, and since it's my new one, I'm going to put my prime symbol. So I have B prime and C prime. Well, I still have to do A and D. So let's try that one next, okay? So A, I'm going over 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe. There we go. And then I'm going down. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there is my new A. So again, when it's new, we're going to put that prime. And last but not least, we're going to go over to D. So we're going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, and down 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So when I label him D prime, if I did it correctly, those rectangles should look exactly the same. So I'm going to count it. I know that this original one was 3 across, so we have 1, 2, 3, and 2. So it was a 3 by 2 rectangle. So if I come over here and check my new one, I have 3 across and 2 down. So I have a 3 by 2 rectangle. It is exactly the same rectangle. All that happened was we moved it over 4 spots to the right and 4 down. But am I done? No, I'm not. I'm not done because I still have to write the coordinates. Because remember, it doesn't want just the picture. It wants the coordinates for figure A prime, B prime, C prime. So, what was A prime? Okay, so I have to come over here, and A was at negative 1, 1. So I'm going to write A prime is at negative 1, 1. Now I have to do B prime. B prime is, I go over 2, up 1. So that's going to be at 2, 1. C prime, I have to go over 2 still, but this time I'm going down 1. And D is at point negative 1, negative 1. Alright, so not only am I having to translate the entire shape, I'm also having to get those coordinates. Alright? Okay, that's it, guys, for our examples. We just did 2 again. In my Google Classroom, there is a copy of the notes, the PDF version, the fill-in-the-blank notes that we use a lot in my class. Only I fill them in for you. So just know that, because obviously you cannot fill them in. So look at those, check them over. If you need additional help, let me know. I'm more than happy to help you. You can contact me at my that number that I've given you on my contact information sheet. Through Remind, you can send me a text. And then also my traditional email, Tyler email, you can email me through there. So you got 3 ways to contact me. If you're having any problems, please do not hesitate to do so. But your assignment that you have until Friday at 4 to do is 4 questions over translations, and they are in Google Classroom. So I posted a link on there. If you look under assignments, you'll see it right there, and it says translations assignment, so it's easy to find. All right, if you have any questions, just let me know. Bye, guys.